Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas, Earful Tower listeners. This is just a quick post from me and your old mate Corey Frye saying Merry Christmas, basically. A bit of a thanks for all your support over the past 2 seasons and a kind of frightful winter holiday story from Mr. Corey Frye. But first, I just wanted to touch base and say Season 1 and 2 all went really well. Cheers for everyone who came to the season finale or who listened to it. 3 pieces of news. 1, Season 3 will be, I think, early February is when I'm planning to start it. That's the first bit of news. 2nd, anyone who heard the episode Finding Mary, about me searching for the lady who saved my life in Paris with my little brother, just today on Christmas Eve, I have heard back from her. So I found Mary, and she'll be there Season 3. Exciting. And 3rd bit of news is, for this new season, I'm going to experiment with a bit of crowdfunding. So, if you value the show, feel free to chip in and become part of the membership sort of program that I've got. A lot of bonus content behind the scenes and that sort of stuff. And it's with Patreon. So, Patreon. And so you go patreon.com/the Earful Tower. There'll be links everywhere. And there'll be all kinds of bonuses for people who sign up for as little as $1 a month. Anyway, you'll hear a bit more about that in the coming days, weeks, months. But for now, Merry Christmas and enjoy this little mini episode.
Earful Tower with Oliver G.
Well, it's Christmas in Paris. But that doesn't mean it's going to be a Christmas-themed episode. It's just a chance for me to pop in and say hello, pop into your ears and say hello, and just give a bit of a Christmas message or two. But as usual, I know an Earful Tower episode wouldn't be an Earful Tower episode without the voice of one man, Oliver G. But also, I've invited Corey Frye into the studio. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Happy holidays to you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Obviously, it's not Christmas Day right this second.
Right.
If you listen to this on Christmas, that's great, and Merry Christmas to you.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just recording this a bit ahead of time.
Absolutely. Can you clear something up for me right away?
Please,
You're
yeah,
from Australia.
Yes.
Do you say Happy Christmas there or Merry Christmas?
I think they say both. But you want to know the weirdest thing?
Tell
It's
me.
summer in Australia for Christmas. So you go down to the beach
I know. That's
in your
so
flip-flops.
weird. Yeah.
40 degrees, have a barbecue.
Man, now I actually grew up in Maine in the northeastern states.
Mm.
And
You're my main man.
I'm all about white Christmases, man.
Yeah.
And so even here in Paris, when it doesn't snow, I get sad.
Well, it's not snowing in Christmas. It's not snowing in Paris today, but it's a very Christmas feel. Whole of December is very Christmassy, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The
Christmas trees, Christmas decorations.
Christmas trees, decorations, and lights, and the window displays.
Oh, the Gallery Lafayette. Did you see the big Christmas tree this year there?
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
The Gallery Lafayette.
Yep.
Oh, la 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 la
Good
la.
stuff.
But before we get into a Corey story, the whole reason I invited old man Corey into the studio with me today is to Christmas is a time of giving, they say, and I just wanted to give thanks to a lot of the listeners out there, to all the listeners really,
Absolutely.
but for some things in particular. And Corey, you're welcome to echo me on these if you agree.
Yeah.
Or you can just hang around for your Corey story that's hopefully somewhat winter Christmas related or something. We didn't talk about this one.
Yeah. Very
Okay.
winter holiday related.
Oh, okay. I mean, if they're not going to hang around till that, then
Well, if you really want them to hang around, then I'll give you a little bit of a clue.
someone dies.
I'm going to give you a werewolf Christmas story.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness
Prepare
me.
yourselves.
Anyway, I really wanted to say just a big old thank you to everyone for.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been 2 completed seasons of the Eiffel Tower. We started off. I mean, back in the day, me and James Vazina, regular listeners will remember that guy. You remember him, Corey.
I do. Great guy.
And we'd sit in a little studio up near the 19th arrondissement, and we'd drink red wine. It was late at night,
Yeah.
and
The good old days.
we didn't really know what we were doing. But then people started listening to the show. It got kind of popular. James passed on to London.
He didn't die, people.
No, he didn't die. And
Well,
I said, I remember I took you out for a coffee, Corey, in the fashionable left bank. Remember that?
Yep.
I said, Corey, season 2's coming up. You want to be on every single episode. And you said, by God, I will. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I said, yeehaw, let's do this. I fired
No,
my pistol in the air.
That's right. That's right, because you're American.
Yeah.
And you said, no, I remember. And you said, I remember what you said. You said, golly gosh, Oliver. Sounds like another one of your crazy ideas, but I'm in. You said, I trust you, Oliver, I'm in. That's kind of what happened.
I'm all in.
You had a lot of questions, and I had very few answers, as usual.
Yeah, you were always very enigmatic back in those days.
Enigmatic and elusive.
Yeah, and if you want to hear how enigmatic, go back to my very first episode, season 1. I had no idea what I was in store for.
Episode 7, popular episode.
Yeah.
Where you know what, there's a regular listener, Preston, who he regularly comments on how he likes that episode, how we talked about don't miss a month. Aaron, don't miss a month.
Because you love a good pun.
Yeah, I love a good pun, but that whole episode, if you listen back, I had that pun in my head, and I couldn't pronounce it every single time. Every 5 minutes, I was like, "We're here with Corey with Aaron, don't miss a month." Anyway,
but you know what? That's because nothing's scripted here.
Nothing scripted. We said that before. Scripts are banned. They're burned at the door.
Yes, absolutely.
That rhymed.
No, but I want to go back to this thanking people.
Yeah,
thing,
thanking people.
Because just to get a bit serious here, I'm so psyched to be part of this podcast.
Yeah.
Think about it, that we're right now in Paris, which is already just incredible.
That's pretty cool.
We won the lottery of life that we're even here, and we're in this little studio in the heart of Paris, and we're able to talk to each other, and people all around the world can listen to us, and they do, and they support us. That's fantastic.
You know what? A thing that I used to say in the first season, I used to often joke that there wasn't anyone listening to us, and it wasn't much of a joke because we didn't have many listeners. But season 2's come and gone. A lot of listeners. We got a lot of listeners out there.
That's great.
As in tens of thousands, like literally. And they're all over the world. I want to say thanks to you guys, especially, who send in emails and say where you're listening from or how you listen, or, people wherever you are, mowing the lawn, on your commute in all sorts of areas of the world. People in bloomin' Fiji. We got Fijian listeners.
Bloomin' Fiji.
I know. So I want to specifically say thanks to you guys. And even more so if you're one of those ones that share the episodes around or sit your mum down and force her to listen to it. I had one guy at the live show who said, I listen to them when I'm driving in America, and I even force my friends who aren't Francophiles to listen to it.
Oh, nice.
And that's what we want. We want you to sit people down and force them to listen to it.
Yeah, so we've got a little bit of widespread appeal.
And I want to thank reviewers.
Yes.
Because your time is valuable, and if you spend time trying to figure out how to leave an iTunes review, you've got a special place in my heart. And I also want to thank people who've made donations, especially the really generous donations, but any donation really. I want to say a big thank you for those who've put in tickets for shows and stuff.
It comes down to people just letting us know that they're out there.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And on a more personal note, I've given tours to quite a few listeners who found me through the podcast and whatnot, and I really want to thank all of you. You're just lovely folks.
Yeah.
It's great to find like-minded people who are just fascinated by Paris, interested.
Yeah.
In.
I've met, I haven't given tours to some listeners, but I met a few of them who've come over and bought me a coffee, bought me a beer, given me a massage.
Very cool.
No, the massage never happened.
Oh,
I made that
well,
one.
You're
up.
not getting one
you
today
didn't
either.
I want to read a review because usually the reviews are really nice and fun, but there's one that I don't know, stuck out from the crowd. Okay. 4 stars.
Oh,
not
out of 5?
Yeah, but that's okay. That's all right. I'll still read it because I like it, and the headline of it sounds like a desperately seeking, or
like a want ad, personal ad?
Yeah, like when you're looking for
when
you're describing yourself,
yeah,
right?
we'd say a personal ad.
This is what it says. Perky in Paris. What do you think that means?
I love it.
This is what they said. Really enjoyable, jaunty tour of Paris.
Oh, weird jaunty?
Yeah.
I like it.
Jaunty. I love being described as jaunty. And then it says the presenters have a slight seat of the pants style, but that keeps it fresh and interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think that means?
Seat of the pants.
Perky, jaunty, and seat of the pants.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's my tombstone right there.
Yeah, in Père Lachaise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks. Before we get into the old CS with the Prince of the Paris Pavements, Corey Frye.
Yeah.
French fry in Paris. Find him on LinkedIn.
And no, I'm not on LinkedIn, but let's be clear. I don't call myself the Prince of the Paris Pavements.
Or the Paris Whisperer.
No, that would be kind of weird and pretentious.
In the first season, I was giving everyone nicknames.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. No one liked it.
The Paris Whisperer stuck a little bit.
Did it?
I had a couple people, approach me.
It's a good name.
Yeah, Paris Whisperer.
Like the Horse Whisperer.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was my thanks. That was a few of your thanks.
Yeah,
and,
thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
I think they get it out there. They understand that we're thankful.
Yeah, and hang around for season 3 as well. It's going to blow your socks off.
What's going to happen in season 3? Give us a little taste.
Imagine what you've heard in season 1 and 2. Add it together. Put a touch of Aperol in it.
Ooh, a little nutmeg.
Serve it with some ice cubes on a Paris terrace. You got it.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's hear the Corey story.
All right, Corey story.
Go on then. Let's hear the story.
Holiday, winter, Christmassy story. Let's go back to medieval Paris. You know I like to often do so. Approximately the year 1450.
1450.
1450. That's a long time ago. Let's be honest.
Sure.
Even before Columbus discovered America, so to speak, to give you some context.
Before Australia was discovered by the Europeans as well.
Nice.
Way before.
Before
200 years before.
Before the Brits sent
300 years before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before they sent all
Convicts, you can say it.
convicts and
Yeah.
criminals.
Yeah,
and-
you can say it.
Yeah. How many times you been in prison?
0.
Okay, to the 1450 approximately. This is medieval Paris, and it was surrounded by a fortified wall. Okay, that surrounded the perimeter of the city. It was a very, very cold winter. They say it was so cold that the Seine River froze solid.
Oy.
That is cold. And the wall that protected Paris happened to be old and deteriorated, so there were cracks and sort of open spots in the wall. And they say that the wolves, packs of wolves outside of the city that were normally feeding in the forest, they actually infiltrated Paris via the wall, and they started to sort of lurk around in the dark alleyways, and they started to pick off dogs and cats and would just devour them because they were so starving.
Wow.
I mean, humans couldn't eat. It was so cold, and the wolves couldn't eat either. So they start snatching babies and small children in the middle of the night off the streets, and then eventually full-grown adults.
Wow.
So you had this highly organized pack known as the Wolves of Paris. Now, the leader of it was a red-haired wolf.
Kayla from the Jungle Book.
Yeah, exactly. Now, everything with red hair, including people with red hair, back then were considered to be touched by the devil. There was a rumor.
Yeah.
So they thought that this leader, they called him Bobtail because he had a very short tail.
Sure.
And it was believed that he was so intelligent organizing his pack of wolves that he was in fact a werewolf. That he must be a man transforming into a wolf, and that's how he was able to lead this pack so effectively. So they killed 10 people, 20 people, 30 people in Paris. When it got to around 40 people devoured in the streets of Paris by this pack of wolves, finally the bravest men of the city got together, and they decided to lure the wolves in front of Notre Dame Cathedral in the middle of the night, and they slaughtered them, and they murdered all these wolves.
Wow.
And now that really was the start of the werewolf legend, at least in Paris. Now, it had existed throughout Europe, but it really took hold in Paris after this pack of wolves was eating people. And then later on, France became actually the world capital for werewolf legends and stories and accusations and imprisonments and torture. And it was the hub of werewolf activity for a long, long time. Incidentally, later on, there was another beast in a forest, right, in the 18th century. And they say that it was killed eventually with a silver bullet.
Werewolf.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the origin of the idea of a silver bullet being needed to kill a werewolf comes from this French beastly creature that was killed.
You know what I've got to add to your Corey story?
Please do.
On Rue Saint-Maur in the 11th,
Yeah.
there is a big graffiti picture of a red wolf or two.
Oh,
What do you think that means?
must be a link.
If you want to go find it, Rue Saint-Maur and Rue de la Fontaine. On that
Yeah.
kind of corner, there's a bar called the Red Hand, Le Main Rouge.
Interesting. A lot of red.
Yeah.
Color red.
What do you reckon?
So if you survive this Christmas without being devoured by a wolf,
You've done well.
you've done well,
Mm.
and go check out those addresses.
A lot of stories end up at the Notre Dame.
Yeah, well, it was such the hub of medieval Paris.
Mm.
I mean, it was a smaller city, so everything you did during the day, you'd walk by it. And that's why the facade is so ornate. It's to remind all those churchgoers of, the Bible.
You know, the other thing is that was quite a serious and sad and scary story. This was meant to be the Christmas cheerful tower.
Did I bring
episode.
down the tone of
You
the
did a
show?
bit.
Well, yeah, but it's a winter time story.
We know you like the macabre.
I do. It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, geez, Merry Christmas, guys.
Okay, let's do a more uplifting story.
Yeah, but it has to be quick because people have turkeys to eat.
Do you have an uplifting story?
Do I?
No. Why don't you wish everyone Merry Christmas, but in Swedish?
God jul.
Wow.
God jul.
Nice.
Like God Yule.
God Yule.
God jul.
Cool.
Yeah.
And Happy New Year?
How the hell do you say Happy New Year? Gott nytt år.
Hmm.
God, I forgot that one. It's been a while.
Nice.
Gott nytt år. Anyway, I think that's about it. Anything else?
No, just happy holidays, everybody. Hope you get all the presents you want.
Yeah, and it's not all about getting, is it, Corey?
No.
It's about giving. So give all the presents you want too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on that note, we'll see you in season 3, huh?
Hope so.
Earful Tower with Oliver G.